game. Their best game. They end up winning overtime 113-109. But what was so impressive was the championship defense down the stretch. It was the combination of LeBron James, right? The washed king, the 90-year-old LeBron, and the 300-pound Luka Doncic. Oh, wait a second. That's not what they are. LeBron James is 40, plays like he's 30. Luka Doncic, if he's 275, I don't believe it. I think he's in better shape by the day. He's looking slimmer and trimmer in that Lakers uniform, and both are having massive impacts. LeBron ended the game with 31 points, 12 boards, 8 dimes. Luka Doncic, 32 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals. It is a two-headed monster in LA, and last night they took down a Knicks team that was hungry, that was trying to get a big win against a contending team, something they've struggled to do all season long. And I think the big takeaways for me last night in that win for the Lakers is you didn't play your best game and you still beat a really, really good team. You went out there with 3:58 left in the third. They were trailing at halftime 60-51. You chip into that lead. Dalton Knecht gets that big three at the buzzer to end the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, you had a couple missed shots by LeBron. The Knicks were up by 10. It looked like the Knicks were possibly going to win that game by double digits. But then Luka comes back into the game, makes a jumper, and they start to get into that lead. Lakers go on a 9-3 run. They cut the deficit to 4. And then you start to see the massive shot making down the stretch. It was a 91-85 game. Lakers down by 6, 5:04 left to play. Luka, top of the key, gets in the lane. He finds Jackson Hayes, nice lob thread. He throws it down 91-87. Lakers down 4. 91-87, LeBron, he drains that corner 3 off a really nice pass from Luka Doncic, attracting the defense, making a play. Then 91-90 after Josh Hart hits a 3 and he points at JJ Redick. Now, don't forget this. JJ Redick still has that player's mindset, and just like that, it looked like it was going to be a Knicks win towards the end. But then 94-40 after Hayes finds that loose ball, Gabe Vincent gets the big 3 to cut the lead to 1, and the Lakers down 3. LeBron hits a big 3, ties it at 96, and then Gabe Vincent hits another 3 to put them up 99-96. Then Luka hits a couple of shots to start overtime. Reeves hits the big 3. Jalen Brunson, he leaves the game early. The Lakers pull away. So the big takeaway for me was the shot making and the shot creating down the stretch. They hit their threes when they needed to, and Gabe Vincent was massive. Everyone thought that Gabe Vincent was a bust, a bad signing, saying Rob Pelinka missed on Vincent. But you had the combination of great shot making, championship level defense, and you held this team to 15 points in the fourth quarter. And that is championship level defense. And here was LeBron James after the game talking about how big of a win this was and how this team continues to find chemistry and look like legitimate championship contenders.
Defense gave up 15 points in the fourth quarter. You know, we hang our hats there. Even when we wasn't shooting the ball well, we didn't shoot the ball well for quite a while, especially from the 3-point arc. But we laid our hat on our defense, and then those outside shots started to flow. It's just about work. We got to continue to put the work in. You know, we have an opportunity to get better and better each and every game, and we still continue to learn each other. You know, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for us that we have room for improvement. You know, and looking forward to you know, seeing where we can become.
7 for 15 from beyond the arc in the fourth quarter and overtime. Big threes, big shot making. You have someone that's a cold-blooded closer in Luka Doncic. LeBron also made his share of big shots. That 3 was huge, top of the key to tie it late in this one. And I think what this Lakers team is proving is they can win against good teams. They can take care of business against bad teams, but good teams win games ugly. And for most of the night, the Knicks were having their way with the purple and gold. But when it mattered most, the Lakers were the team that was making the shots, getting the big stops on defense. And last night was another message to the league that, hey, We don't care that the Cavs and the Celtics and some of these other teams out there, the Nuggets, the Thunder with the best record in the league, they don't care about the other teams' records, because if this Lakers team with this nucleus, with this version of LeBron James that's 10 out of 10 effort every night, this version of the Lakers for a full 82 game season would have a much better record and would be vying for best record in the NBA. So if you're a team out there that's going to face the Lakers in the first or second round, and you look at their record as a 2 seed, 3 seed, whatever ends up being a 4 seed if they don't go through this stretch of games with the winning record, that's not a true indicator of how good this team is, because the talent level, the depth, the defense has certainly been there. And another big takeaway for me, Gabe Vincent. So I'll say it before I say it again. Put some respect on this man's name. 22 minutes, 12 points, 1 rebound, 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. And he played lockdown defense when he needed to. And after the game, Luka talked about it. JJ talked about it. LeBron talked about it. All the stars were talking about a role player in Gabe Vincent and how impactful he was in yesterday's win.
And there's no such thing as non-key players on this team. Everybody is key, and everybody steps on the floor has a role, and they go in and match that. And I thought our bench gave us a great lift once again, and Gabe was single him out. He was spectacular. His play both on the defensive end and obviously with the shooting that we needed. We were not making any outside shots.
Night like tonight, when felt like a lot of things didn't go our way and what wasn't easy. They often can come from your non-stars, and I thought Jackson's defense in the second half. Gabe's shot making was huge. I mean, Gabe doesn't make those 4 threes. We're not even in the game. I think for the group overall, once we reached their level of effort and how hard they were playing, we were right there. And we all felt that in the second half. And again, it goes back to the poise thing. You make a run, you get it to 8, they go back up to 10 or 11. You make a run, you get it to 7, it goes back up. And our guys just stayed the course and refused to give in and let go of the rope. It seemed like Brunson had an answer for everything, and he was fantastic tonight. And our guys, in what felt like a playoff game at times, really just got it out a win.
A lot. I think Gabe won us the game with those three threes in the fourth quarter, and that was huge for us. And that's how we got the energy up. That's how we got the crowd in. And I think he won us the game there.
You heard them all say that. And then in the post-game locker room meeting, JJ Redick said, "You won the game. I'm dead serious, Gabe." So he got his flowers yesterday from JJ Redick, from the team. And hey, a lot of Laker fans out there, fill out your apology forms and send them to Gabe Vincent. He dealt with some injuries. He dealt with some issues. He's found his niche on this team. He's contributed in a massive, massive way. Now, this Lakers team is in a great position to finish this season strong, get into a nice seeding for the playoffs. And you got the Boston Celtics on Saturday. Ticket prices are through the roof. But I want to bring my man, Noel Sanchez. Noel, one of the great NBA ball knowers in the game.
Appreciate that, my brother.
What was your biggest takeaway from that win last night? Felt like the good old days of just electric atmosphere, big shots down the stretch, the team hungry to win.
I mean, my number one takeaway was just how LeBron opened up the floor and allowed Luka just to do his thing in crunch time. The whole offense was running through him. We were talking about it earlier. Every time he got doubled, he was making the right play. He ISO'd and was able to get cat on him like 3 possessions in a row, step back, get to the paint, get to the bucket, kick out to the corner. I mean, the dude was really just showing off everything he had in his bag. And it feels like every single game that goes by, he's feeding into that LA crowd, and he's really embodying what it means to be a superstar on the Lakers. We haven't really had a guy like that in a couple years. Even the times that LeBron would really take over, we saw that crazy run he had in the bubble. There were no fans around. We saw what he was doing in 2021. that team, unfortunately, he got hurt when he was still playing really well. AD got hurt. And then the past couple of years, it's been up and down. We had a really good run in 2023 going to the Western Conference Finals, but Luka's in the prime of his career. And against a team like the Knicks, who have guys that can put a lot of on-ball pressure, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, he was working them like nothing. And it was the fourth quarter. It was overtime. He was playing over 30 minutes. But he didn't look out of shape to me. He looked comfortable to be out there.
Could not agree with you more. I mean, I know I've said on the show that, yeah, LeBron is the second best player on this team, but it's really not the case. It doesn't feel like that. From an ego standpoint, just from a what they contribute standpoint, it's not a Batman and Robin. It's a Batman and Superman, right? I mean, it's two superheroes that one is a lot younger. One is an absolute alien from outer space because he's playing at this level at this age.
Yeah, and like initially when the trade went down, I thought there was going to be a bigger adjustment period just because like I see them playing just like each other, especially younger version LeBron, very similar to how we see Luka run this offense. And yesterday I was watching, I saw LeBron taking off on the fast break, posting himself up, getting those touchdown passes from Luka, playing as a spot-up shooter. LeBron hasn't been able to spot up in crunch time since he had Kyrie Irving back in like 2017, 2016. So it's amazing to see their dynamic.
91, it was 91-87. Luka gets in the lane. He gets blitzes. He attracts double teams, triple teams, and the way he can contort his body to find the open shooter. LeBron catch and shoot buries that open three from the corner. So I don't think, like you said, I think that you're on the money with that. I don't think anyone thought that it would be this seamless of a transition. I thought it would be a lot of your turn, my turn, maybe kind of stagger minutes sometimes. But look, LeBron is so smart and he can adapt to any player's skill sets. And that's just a credit to him as a player.
There was even this one play on the fast break where LeBron was all the way down, right down on the block. Luka had the ball at like mid-court getting into the 3-point line. He made a bounce pass to LeBron. And I was thinking a lot of players usually wouldn't make that pass just because LeBron wasn't fully turned. They don't know how it's going to go. But I think in Luka's mind, he sees that. He's like, if I get to LeBron, that's like a 90% chance it's going to be a bucket. So the IQ is just crazy.
It's just off the charts. And Luka Doncic looks even more comfortable. And he was asked after the game what he's learned about this Lakers team in their continued growth as a group and how this team could compete for a championship in year one. And here's what Luka had to say.
Just the chemistry. I think, everybody gets along. That's really important. We're well connected. Obviously, there's room for improvement, but I think we're well connected. So I'm excited to be a part of this team. It means a lot. I don't think we played good today. I think we have, especially for the first three quarters, I don't think we played good. So that just showed the whole group together. Everybody's cheering for each other, and we gave each other a push that we need to win the games.
Love it. Hey, Luka Doncic on your basketball team, it is an even better feeling than I thought it was going to be. I'm watching these games like I'm in middle school again watching Kobe. I mean, that's how I feel. Just the excitement of watching this version. I could not be more thrilled to have Luka and a re-energized LeBron James. So let's throw out the player grades for last night. Start with Gabe Vincent, man. 22 minutes, 12 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 4 for 5 from the field, 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. Really the difference in the game right there. If even one of those is not knocked in, they probably don't get the dub. But I think for me, he's knocking down big shots. He's having an impact, making huge pressure cooker type of shots, but he's also contributing on the defensive end as well. It's not just an A, it was an A+ for me for Gabe Vincent.
Absolutely. Same here. That post-game speech that JJ gave, he went out there and said, I told you to go out there and make at least one big three that you had one in you, and you went and hit 3 of them. Crazy. Four of them. Yeah. So he absolutely crushed it. And this is what we wanted when we signed him. And that's why Laker fans were so disappointed. Not just because Laker fans are hard, but because we saw what he did in the NBA Finals.
You say we?
Miami. We.
Blood thingy on the team.
I'm on the team.
You're on the team.
I'm on the
Noel
team.
Sanchez.
I'm going to go get my warm-up sweat, so I'm going to be in here. But
there you go.
A+ for Gabe.
A+ for Gabe. And I agree. That's the A+. LeBron James, 31, 12, and 8, a block, 11 for 23. So not the most efficient LeBron game. 2 for 8 from beyond the arc, but that 3 that he hit late in the fourth was huge. Made 7 of 8 free throws that were big down the stretch, was a +4. I think that there were some times in the game where you want to see LeBron be a little more aggressive, but when it came to setting up teammates and finding a way to generate offense, the decision making was definitely there. So I got to give LeBron an A- just because of his standards. We've got Luka Doncic, 32, 7, and 12, 4 assists, 9 for 23. So LeBron and Luka weren't their most efficient, and they still were able to win in overtime against a good team. I still feel like it's a dream to have him on your team, but wasn't the best Luka game, but I think big time performance. But both those guys, based on how good they are, I give Luka an A because I like those 2 shots in overtime, and LeBron an A-.
No, 100% fair. And, I think Luka said it best too in the first half of the game. Was a little sloppy. They were taking a lot of shots that just weren't the best looks. But once they really started getting together, they were able to control the runs that the Knicks were going on. And then they actually slowed the game down, got in the half court, really executed it. I'll give both LeBron and Luka an A as well. I think if they were a little more efficient, it would have been much more of a comfortable score, and they wouldn't have been trailing as much during the game. But it's awesome to see them come through like that and really respond to adversity.
For sure. And then you got Jared Vanderbilt, 17 points, 17 minutes, 2 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 for 3. Was a -11. It wasn't the best Vando game. He didn't have too much of an impact, but he has been a difference maker. Their record with him in the lineup has been tremendous since he's gotten back. Gonna give him a C on the night. Trey Jemison, another guy. 7 points, 13 minutes, 3 for 4. Considering his role, I'll give him a B. Just because they don't ask a lot from him. Very impressed with Dalton Knecht, though. 11 points in 21 minutes, 4 rebounds, 4 for 8 from the field, 3 for 7, hit big threes, 1 at the end of the third quarter. I think the defense is something that needs to be improved upon. I don't think he's going to develop into a plus defensive player in year 1, but the big shots that he got in those big spots, I got to give him a B+ on the night. Austin Reeves, got to give him a D. 2 for 13, 8.6 boards, 1 for 7. He hit the one overtime. He raised his hands because finally he hit one, so that was huge. But first game back, and I think for him it's about just getting the conditioning down for tomorrow's game against the Boston Celtics. And then Jackson Hayes. I love the meme. It says, when you just became important at your job for no reason. Yeah, that's Jackson Hayes, perfect, right?
Yeah.
Starting center for the Lakers with LeBron and Luka Doncic. He goes 8 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 3 for 5. But it's the lobs and big moments and just finding ways to just create offense with him. And I think he's someone that if you get 34 minutes out of Jackson Hayes, he's not hurting you, he's helping you. I give him a B+. So last one, JJ Redick. Just the point alone of pointing to Josh Hart after the game and kind of getting back after he did that to him gives him an A for me. But I also think, too, just the lineups in this one with Reeves being limited, Rui Hachimura is still out. You had to kind of mix and match with the lineups a little more than they typically would have. And you were getting Jemison, you're getting guys to produce like Dalton Knecht and the buy-in there. And I think, too, just the defensive adjustments in the way they blitzed and attacked Jalen Brunson in this one, especially in that final possession of regulation, the way they played that. I'm just so impressed with the defensive rotations and just the teams just overall buy him to his defensive concept. So, hey, another guy that a lot of people, including myself, owe an apology to, JJ Redick.
No, 100%. Absolutely masterclass stuff from him so far, especially after getting Luka. Saw the way he talked about him in those podcasts, so you knew that was always his guy. But I want to give a big shout out to Jackson Hayes, too. For like he was the biggest question mark when we saw this team coming together, especially when the Mark Williams trade ended up getting rescinded. And the 2 big free throws he hit, too, as well in overtime. Those were
clutch. I thought those were going back iron.
I was pretty scared.
Yeah.
But then I was looking at his free throw stats. He's been pretty solid from the line this year. But
Biggs get a bad rap from the charity.
No, 100%. I love all those grades too. I think Dorian Finney-Smith, I want to see a little bit more out of him too. I think he's going to be key as we get close to the postseason. But really good rotation of guys right now.
Yeah, Finney-Smith's another guy. You look at the night he had. Safe to say, kind of an average DF, but. He's someone that is very important to the team, especially given the comfort level to Luka Doncic. But
exactly.
Got to talk quickly about JJ Redick. Does he deserve Coach of the Year? Now, the Coach of the Year award, a lot of times it's the award for the coach that takes the unexpected team and turns them into a either respectable team, an overachieving team, Kenny Atkinson, he's heavily favored to win Coach of the Year. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, I mean, it got to that 15-0 start. Atkinson has been the front runner pretty much all season. Cavs are at 52-10, and they just clinched a playoff berth on Wednesday. He's a minus 850 to win Coach of the Year. Behind him is JB Bickerstaff for Detroit at plus 700. JJ Redick's at plus 4,000. But should JJ Redick deserve consideration? Should he win it? Look, I think the reasons for him are the defense somehow, some way, doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever, has gotten better after they trade away Anthony Davis. You would expect that this team would be on the decline defensively, and they've been either as good or better on some nights, and it's because they are flying around on that side. The defense, the tenacity, the ability with LeBron and Rui and Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5 at times, going small, having Jared Vanderbilt back in the lineup has been huge for that as well. And they just have a lot of versatile defenders, a lot of switching. They're interchanging these different defenders and putting them alongside Luka Doncic, and even Luka and LeBron James. They're bought in and they're competing on the defensive side too. So the defense has been better with JJ Redick this season compared to Darvin Ham. And you also look at the fact that LeBron's been better after the trade. The numbers have gone up. The defense has gone up. The win total is certainly so much more respectable than it was, and to the point where you're a 2 seed and you are fighting for a chance to host playoff series and have home court advantage early on. I mean, no one thought that for this team a month ago. It looked like they were going to be a play-in team. Now it looks like they're going to be a team that has home court advantage. But I will say he's not going to get this award. He deserves votes, and I will happily eat crow. It didn't make sense. I am the guy that said that JJ Redick was going to get free courtside seats for the Lakers for 2 years, and that he was LeBron James' podcast partner, and that he had no experience, and it didn't make a lot of sense in the world. And I wanted Hurley, and how could the Lakers do this? He's not the next Pat Riley. I was that guy. It did not make sense. But give me the biggest bowl of crow that you can eat, and I will happily eat it. I couldn't be more happy to be wrong, because he looks like a guy that is dedicated. He doesn't sleep when they're about to match up with big teams. He puts in the work, and I couldn't be more impressed, and I couldn't be more wrong. But I will say this. I am glad. I am happy. I couldn't be more thrilled that he's not going to win the Coach of the Year award, because the Coach of the Year award is a curse. You do not want to win that award. 6 of the last 8 Coaches of the Year aren't with the teams that they were coaching when they won that award. You look at the winners recently. OKC, they're good. But Mike Brown, Sacramento, fired. Monty Williams, Phoenix, fired. Nick Nurse, Toronto, fired. Mike Budenholzer, fired. Dwayne Casey, Toronto, fired. Mike D'Antoni, Rockets, fired. You just got Tom Thibodeau. And that's why it's an award. If I wouldn't even accept it if I was a coach that won that. But yeah, give JJ Redick all the credit in the world. He's turned this Lakers team around. He's the biggest update, the biggest upgrade from Darvin Ham. I mean, what do you say? We're not ducking no fades, and it's just these things that the players just weren't responding to. And at the end of the day, NBA players, it's not about motivating. It's about, are you nice with the clipboard? How do the schemes look? How do the rotations look? How's the decision making? Darvin Ham, bad rotations, 3-guard lineups, defense subpar. The players checked out. So looks like they got their guy. Ultimately, I will say that every Lakers head coach is going to be judged by how many championships they win. He's got to win championships. At the end of the day, if he doesn't win a championship, he's not going to be viewed as a success. But I think that he has all the ingredients and the tools, the right coaches around him to go out there and have that level of success. So JJ Redick, I owe an apology. He's exceeding expectations. And the Lakers look like they have the next superstar head coach. I mean, not even just a star, like he's the superstar head coach in the NBA. He truly is turning into that. And you love to see it if you're a Lakers fan. Okay, so let's get into the drama from last night. Stephen A. Smith versus LeBron James. After the game, Stephen A. Smith was sitting courtside. See how Larry David, LeBron comes up to him, does not look very happy, does not have a very friendly look in his face. And LeBron, you can read his lips. He's saying, keep my effing son's name and they make this about my son and things like that. And Stephen A. Smith just stood there, listened to what he had to say. And LeBron, he wasn't covering his mouth. He knew what he was doing. He wanted this to go viral. I think that LeBron knew that this was going to create a little bit of a social media storm. And this morning on First Take, Stephen A. Smith, he discussed the matter and addressed it, and feels like Stephen A. Smith's kind of trying to play the victim card here.
Really took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it. For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man. But that is not what he elected to do. Instead, he elected to confront me while I was sitting courtside. Ari Emanuel, the head of William Morris Endeavor, one of the agencies that represents me, along with Larry David, was sitting courtside. I was with them for the game. And he walked right up to me and he said what he had to say. And apparently he feels like.
So you heard what he said with that. Keep my son out of this, bro, right? He doesn't want anything to do with that. He does not like the things that he's been saying in the recent months about his son, Bronny James. A lot has been made about LeBron and the Lakers drafting him with the 55th pick. But the truth of the matter is, that's a father that's protecting his son. And is it rational? Probably not. Is LeBron overreacting? Maybe a little bit. I mean, Bronny is a big boy. Bronny's an adult. He's in the NBA. He doesn't need his dad going over there and doing it for him. But look, if you have kids, I mean, if you're a parent, you probably understand. Don't talk about my kid like that. Don't talk about me like that as a parent. No one likes their parenting ever put in question. And just kind of digging up what it was that really pissed off LeBron, it had to have been this, because Stephen A. was on First Take a month ago, and he said, we got to be real about what we're seeing when we talk about Bronny James. I'm not a person that had a problem with Bronny James being on the court for the season opener with LeBron James. That was a phenomenal moment. To see your father on the court with his son, who has NBA aspirations, playing together for the first time in NBA history, was great. My position has always been that should have been the only moment we saw Bronny James in a Lakers uniform this season, because he's not ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be an NBA player. I'm not here to tell you that he should give up his dreams and aspirations. I think the kid's got potential. I think the kid will be an NBA player one day. I watched him in the G League doing his thing. I think he's going to be fine eventually, but that's not the case yet. So essentially, Stephen A. Smith is saying that after that initial moment when Bronny James debuted and you had LeBron realize his dream of being on the court with his son, that's it, that he should just stay in the G League where he's averaging over 21 points. And he's played 18 games, averaging 1.4 points per game. He is a little bit like a victory cigar for the Lakers. I've said it on this show. The "We Won Tacos" chant has been replaced with the "We Won Bronny" chant. And when you hear that, you know that the Lakers are winning the game and that it's in the refrigerator, as the great Chick Hearn would say. But having said that, LeBron didn't like it. LeBron doesn't like that because it's kind of making his son look like this gimmick. And no one wants their son looking like a gimmick. No one wants to make it seem like he's this Nepo baby and things have been handing out to him. Is that the case? Sure. I mean, let's just be honest. Would Bronny James have been drafted by the Lakers if LeBron James wasn't a Laker? The answer is no. It's emphatically no. That doesn't mean that in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't the right move for the Lakers. I would do it every single time if it meant keeping my 40-year-old superstar, who's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play the game in some people's eyes, happy. You do things like that. How many of your friends helped you get a job? How many of your family members helped you get a job? It happens. But I do think that Stephen A. Smith may have crossed the line. And look, at the end of the day, even if he didn't cross the line, hey, LeBron's like, I don't care. Just keep my son's name out of your mouth. Then here was another soundbite from Stephen A. Smith from his YouTube show talking about the matter.
And I felt the need to elaborate even further because a couple of people text me and pissed me off, and they know who they are. People close to LeBron James talking to me about questioning him as a father. Come on, y'all. I mean, it's got to a point where this LeBron sensitivity is just beyond the pale. You call him the second best player in the history of the game, you're insulting him because you said he's not the GOAT. You're saying that at age 40, we've never seen anybody do what he does, but pointing out at times how he may not have hustled back on defense in a key pivotal moment, and that's a problem. You give him all the praise in the world when he drops 40, but he has a bad night, and you say he had a bad night, and you're hating. It's ridiculous. But never before has it been more ridiculous.
So this sounds to me like Stephen A. is a little more comfortable talking about the issue on his show, and all of a sudden he's getting brave again talking about LeBron when LeBron's not right in front of him. It reminds me of one of my favorite movies ever, Friday, with Chris Tucker and Debo, where Chris Tucker says, hey, when Debo's not around, when Debo's around, I'm quiet, but when he's not around, I be talking again. That sounds like what Stephen A. Smith is doing right there. He's comfortable talking about him when he's not in front of him, but when the matter comes and he's in front of him, then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and I apologize, this and that. So I'm a little disappointed. I think Stephen A. Smith should have stuck to his guns and doubled down, and I think both guys can just have their opinions. And look, guys can have uncomfortable conversations, but I will say, if I'm LeBron James, I think that the last couple of weeks, based on the things that we said, his comments about Anthony Edwards, not want to be the face of the league, confronting Stephen A. Smith about what he said about Bronny James. Clearly, this is a matter where things are getting to LeBron, and it shouldn't be the case. LeBron should pay the media no mind. They're going to say what they're going to say. They are going to build you up to break you down. And if I'm LeBron, I think this kind of makes him look like on the sensitive side, and they know, hey, if we say things about LeBron, he's going to react, and that's kind of what we want. So I think that he's feeding into this now, and I think it's going to be a battle between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, and we'll see what this means for Bronny. If I'm Bronny too, I'm like, hey, Dad, let's be quiet. Like, I don't want people talking about me, because now this makes people have stronger opinions about Bronny James. I've said it before. You just don't. If I'm Bronny, I love that my dad is LeBron James, but there's a reason why he's Bronny James, right? And not LeBron James Jr. because of that pressure. And I think that this kind of further intensifies that, because the haters now are going to hate even more. But very interesting stuff, Noel. What did you think of what happened last night?
Yeah, no, I think it's unfortunate it got caught on camera, And like you said, I didn't really think of it this way, but LeBron might have wanted it to happen this way, especially Stephen A. being courtside and him going out of his way in front of people to talk to him about it. But it just takes away from the game. It just sucks when reporters and media members bring up family members and bring up anybody involved that is really close to superstars, because it's so hard. Like, I think LeBron has done an amazing job over the years of keeping distance from the media, ignored Skip Bayless for so long, ignored Brian Windhorst for so long. But when you bring up your son, it's almost like, man, it's like the one thing that, will probably get under him. And Stephen A., he's notorious for his takes. He's notorious for being animated, for, saying what other people won't. And he's had a very interesting relationship with LeBron James over the years. So, I think he got a little too comfortable talking about Bronny for sure. And, you know, he did acknowledge that he has been doing well in the G League and that one day he could be good enough to be on an NBA roster. But I just think LeBron, especially in Bronny's rookie year, he's going to be more protected than ever over his son.
100%. I think that is spot on right there, is that it got caught on camera. Yeah. And then on top of that, look, I mean, for me, I think it's LeBron saying, you know what, F this. Like, I'm not going to be Mr. Nice Guy. I don't care how the media perceives me anymore. I kind of think that, I mean, we saw John Cena go heel a little bit. It feels almost like LeBron's gone heel a little bit too. I mean, I hadn't seen that look in LeBron's eyes since Game 6 in Boston. Yeah. Right? I mean, that famous meme with the Game 6 look right there. But like I said, if I'm Bronny James, I'm like, hey, I'm a grown-ass man, Pops. Like, you don't have to be defending me.
Yeah. Now, for him to leave the team huddle, excuse himself while they were all talking because he saw Stephen A., that says a lot.
And Stephen A. Smith, I mean, look at the video. He did stand his ground. I mean, he's shaking his head, kind of arguing back. So, I mean, like, if you look at what Stephen A. Smith has done in his career, he just signed that big bag to be back with ESPN. I mean, like you said, he says things that others don't want to say. But if someone disrespects your family, especially your son, you're gonna act out, and you're not gonna take to that very lightly. But hey, I'm surprised it wasn't. I thought it was gonna be another Chris Rock, Will Smith moment, right?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Keep my son's name out of your mouth. And Stephen A. Smith, hey, it's just a G.I. Jane joke, right? I mean, something like that. But we'll see what this means in the future between these two. But some breaking news I want to get into. The Raiders. The Raiders have acquired Geno Smith from the Seahawks. The Las Vegas Raiders have acquired Geno Smith in a trade with the Seattle Seahawks. And the Seahawks will get a 3rd-round pick in the trade. And the trade will bring Geno Smith back to Pete Carroll. They're reuniting. You got Pete Carroll and Geno Smith on the same team once again. And in 2024, Geno Smith, 4,320 yards. He had 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, started all 17 games. So interesting move right there. The Raiders were in the mix for Matthew Stafford. There was some talk that they could sign Aaron Rodgers, but they get Geno Smith. I like this move for the Raiders. I mean, he was a productive quarterback, and I think back with Pete Carroll, it makes a lot of sense. But now let's talk about the Brock Purdy contract situation. I think it was a disrespectful contract offer that the 49ers made to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Not elite. There's only 5 elite quarterbacks. Brock Purdy might not be elite. He might not be up there with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, guys like that. But he deserves to be paid at the very least $50 million. And the reports are that the initial deal that was offered to him was in the $40 million range. Albert Breer said, I think the 49ers would like to keep in the 40s, and Purdy's camp would like to keep in the 50s. I thought initially there was a good chance that they would try to do what they did with Jimmy Garoppolo, which is speed up the whole thing and get it done in January. I think that's the fact that they weren't able to get some traction early shows that there's a little bit of divide between the two sides right now. And you look at just the quarterback market and where it stands right now. I mean, there's 19 quarterbacks that have contracts for more than $97 million in the last 3 years. 19 quarterbacks have signed deals for more than $97 million in the last 3 years. Last year, you had Dak Prescott signing a 4-year deal with the Cowboys, a $240 million extension, averaging $60 million annually. And Brock Purdy signed a 4-year rookie contract with the 49ers in 2022, and that's going to pay him $3.7 million over 4 years. One of the lowest paid quarterbacks in the league. The base salary for his 2024 season was $985,000. Now, Brock isn't, like I said, the best quarterback. I mean, you look at 279.1 yards per game, 4th in the league, 65.9% completion percentage, that's 16th, 25 total touchdowns, 11th, that's 15 turnovers, that's tied for 4th most, and 96.1 passer rating, that's 14th. That's not elite. You're not going to see elite numbers there, but he certainly belongs among some of the top paid quarterbacks in the league. As far as you got to give him in the $50 million range. Adam Schefter, he said, so if you don't get a deal done with Brock Purdy and you're the Niners, and again, this would not be what Brock Purdy would want. I'd imagine, hey, it's not what his agent would want. He would play for $5 million this year, $41 million next year, $51 million the year after. You're talking about $97+ million over the next 3 years, which for most people would be incredible money, but not for a quarterback who's waiting to get paid. So I do think that the 49ers, they don't believe that he is elite. They don't believe that he is an above average quarterback. I mean, Jason LaConforta, the NFL insider, he said that the first offer was for $45 million a year. That's an absolute slap in the face to Brock Purdy. I thought this was supposed to be above average quarterback. That's not above average quarterback money. He literally saved the 49ers from irrelevancy. After the Trey Lance disaster, Brock Purdy came in and saved the franchise. And this is how you're going to reward him with a $45 million contract offer. It's rough. It is really, really rough. I mean, the 49ers, I think, are in a very interesting part of where their roster build is right now. I mean, is he a $60 million guy? Probably not, but he certainly deserves more than $50 million. So yeah, that's a slap in the face. A $45 million. I mean, by the way, I mean, in real people money, I mean, that's a generation of wealth beyond belief. But as far as the truth is, it's 32 teams, it's 32 people on the planet among 7 billion that are NFL quarterbacks. And Brock Purdy is one of them, and he's above average, and he deserves to be compensated. I mean, last season, 3,864 yards, that was 10th. And he missed time. 20 TDs, 15th. Interceptions, 12. So the turnovers have been higher, and that is a concern. A 67.9 QBR, that's 7th. So he cleans up the turnovers. Just the overall vibe of that San Francisco team was low last season. But yeah, I'm very... This offer is not even pretty good. It's not good at all. But let's switch gears to Paul Skenes and Livy Dunn, because the MLB power couple is definitely one of the talks of Major League Baseball. Paul Skenes, the best pitcher in the sport already, in my opinion. The splinker, the fastball velocity. He's already one of the best, if not the very best. I think he's the best. He won the Cy Young his rookie season, and he deserved to win it, and he should have won it, and he won Rookie of the Year, right? Paul Skenes was the NL Rookie of the Year. I think this season he has to be a Cy Young favorite. I mean, we'll see if any of the Dodgers pitchers can change that. And Chris Sale deserved the Cy Young in the National League last year. But if Paul Skenes had pitched the entire season, he would have won the Cy Young. He had a 1.96 ERA, 29 starts, a .95 whip, 170 strikeouts. But as good as he was, he could be even better. He is adding a cutter to his mix. Check out the cutter for Paul Skenes and how nasty this looks. A cutter is ridiculous. That's not fair. Look at this. Just... so much talent. And Livy Dunn, his girlfriend, claims that she taught him that. Pitching Ninja put on his Instagram just what Paul Skenes needed was a new weapon, and she put on her Instagram story and said that she taught him that. Quote, I taught him that. So apparently Livy Dunn is a pitching coach. Apparently Livy Dunn is helping him. I don't know if Paul Skenes is teaching her anything for gymnastics. She's in her last year at LSU, but cool. Livy Dunn, after she's done at LSU, she can be a pitching coach, teaching him that cutter. And then we've got the MLB The Show rankings. MLB The Show rankings. Do we have these up? Let's see. We got Juan Soto with the 99. We got Shohei Ohtani at a 99. MLB The Show rankings are always fun when they come out because, it's a video game and it's always exciting. And the game continues to grow. How much do you play MLB The Show, Antonio?
Yo, what's going on? Not so much these days, at least 5 times a month. It's a lot of fun. Diamond Dynasty is my favorite battle royale. Can't tell you how many times I've gone 12-0 once. But it's a lot of fun. I'm excited. I feel a little disrespected on Freddie Freeman's rating. San Diego Studios gave him a 90. Come on, bump it up to 93 at least, 95. But hey, big fan of the show. I'm going to be playing this year for sure.
Yeah, so we've got the 2025 ones are out. I mean, Aaron Judge has to be a 99 too, right?
I think there's only 2 99s, no? Ohtani and
Juan Soto.
I think Judge might be 98. I could be wrong.
Wow. Juan Soto being ahead of Judge. What do you think about that?
I mean, they're both kind of the same defensively. Oh,
wow. Hey, you did drop the ball. You did was one of the ones. Here we got who else do we have right here? The first look. Tatis is an 88. Jackson Merrill an 87, 82. Acuna is an 89 coming off. Mike Trout's at 90.
So respect for Mike Trout,
Mike Trout is at 90.
He's going to finish the year at least 95 for sure.
So yeah, the 99 club has been revealed. The 99 club, you got Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, and Aaron Judge. They get the max rating. So they are in the 99 club. Who else we've got? We got Ellie De La Cruz has a 99 for the speed. So that's really cool. But MLB The Show 25 coming out soon. Wow, Luis Robert Jr., 77. Who else? Yeah, Soto. Lindor's a 95.
I think Kershaw's rated up there too.
Where's Kershaw at?
I think I saw him in the mid 80s. I could be wrong. I was taking a peek last night.
Oh, yeah?
That's where I saw the Freddie Freeman. I was like, are you serious?
What was Kersh?
I think he's mid 80s.
Mid 80s?
Yeah.
That is pretty impressive.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, we got the 30 highest. Here's the 30 highest rated players. Ready? Shohei's number 1. Soto's number 2. Judge is number 3, all 99. Trout's actually at 96 now. So though Trout's 96 at 4.
Let's go.
Ketel Marte's a 96 at 5. Bobby Witt Jr. 96. Betts is a 95. Lindor's a 95. Bryce Harper 95. Ramirez 95. Chris Sale 94. Gunnar Henderson 94. Tariq Skubal 94. Tatis 93. Ronald Acuna Jr. 93. Kyle Tucker 93. Ellie De La Cruz 93. Skenes at 93. Corey Seager 92, Yordan Alvarez 92, Glasnow 91, Clase 91, Freddie Freeman at 90, Wheeler 90, Trey Turner 90, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 90, Sonny Gray 90, Brent Rooker 90, Julio Rodriguez 90, Logan Webb 89, and William Contreras 89. So those are your MLB The Show rankings. Okay, so let's end the show. We guys got some a little juicy to end the show, and to end the show, we've got some little drama here, and girls exposing a USC basketball player who slid into the DM. So a USC guard, Bryce Pope, he DM'd several Rutgers sorority girls before they played Rutgers. And this was a couple weeks ago, and some of these girls actually posted it. So he slid in the DM and said, "Hi, we should hang out this weekend. I heard our whole sorority is hanging out. At least that's what Rachel and Riley told me." He has another one, same message. Hey, we should hang out this weekend. The girl responds, "Oh my God, Rachel just told me we're all hanging out." He said, "Yeah, I guess so. Smiley face, that'd be fun. My bad." Another one, "Hey, we should hang out this weekend." "Oh my God, Rachel just told me we're all going to hang out." "Hey, we should hang out this weekend." "Hey, yeah, I think Riley's free. That's perfect." So it does sound like at least one of these girls, or maybe a couple of them actually did. It probably hung out with them. So yeah, pretty interesting. You're a college athlete on the road. And yeah, I would say he's a volume shooter, if you know what I mean. A volume shooter. Just, hey, forget one or two girls. Let's hit up the whole team. And the funniest one, he said, "My bad." But he's a shooter. and shooters shoot. So you got to give him the love on that. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Big Lead. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and also subscribe to the podcast as well. You have the audio form, you got the YouTube form, and yeah, also comment Luka Magic down below if you're going to be eligible for the Luka Doncic Lakers jersey once we hit 2,000 subscribers. But that's going to do it for this episode. Have a great weekend, and until next time, I'm out.